Hi there. So today we're going to talk about some exercises you can do if you're having wrist or elbow pain. And it's really important to remember that even though the pain may be in the wrist or in the elbow, much of the time that actual dysfunction, the root of the dysfunction, is coming from the shoulder. Okay, so we have to remember the elbow bone is the same as the shoulder bone. So there's often imbalances between the flexors and extensors, the pronators and supinators in the forearm. So we need to address both the shoulder, the forearm, and the wrist when devising movements to begin to alleviate some of these pain symptoms. So I'm going to give you guys a sequence today that I found to be very helpful for wrist and elbow pain. So we're going to start with a wrist extensor stretch. So you can actually bring your hand like this, or you can just lock out both elbows and pull your fingertips down and really begin to sense and feel this. You might want to look down at your feet, bringing them straight and level, maybe 1 to 2 fist distance apart. Those feet are mirrors into your hips. And just kind of pull those fingers down, noticing any differences. Elbows are pretty much locked out here. They can be relatively locked out. Just noticing differences. Okay? And then taking the hands and curling them under. So you're going to curl the fingers and flex the wrists now. There could be a little bit more of a softness in the elbows here as you flex the wrists. Noticing, again, differences side to side. Keeping the neck muscles nice and relaxed. Wrist flexor stretch. And then locking out again, push the hands forward. So here there's a little bit of abduction happening of the shoulder blades. Noticing what you sense, what you feel. Fingertips up, spreading them out. And then down, getting that wrist flexors, getting those wrist flexors as well. And from here, you're going to clasp your hands together and begin to bring them up and overhead. So for this one, it's going to be important that your feet are about 1 fist distance apart, relatively straight and level. Feel the 3 points of contact on both feet. Ball of the foot by the big toe, ball of the foot by the pinky toe, and the heel. Notice where your 2 arms are positioned. Is one closer to your ear than the other? Sensing and feeling into the body, bringing some self-awareness into the body. Just noticing. You might want to also take a few breaths here, filling the whole rib cage. And bring the hands down. Taking one arm forward, you're going to slightly bend the elbow. Okay, so for this one, it's an adduction, meaning coming towards the center. Make sure you're not rotating the upper body, so you're really just pulling the arm here. Elbows bent. Making sure you're not compensating at the feet or the hip. Making sure you're not elevating the shoulders or going into the neck. Taking a couple breaths there, and then you can straighten that arm. And try the other side. Noticing differences again, side to side. So elbows slightly bent on this side. Shoulder down, away from the ear. So for me, this side feels a little tighter. Taking a few breaths in there. So you have to remember that scapula is also sitting on the rib cage, so if there's any disparity in the rib cage, that can also affect the elbow, the wrist, the shoulder. Go ahead and straighten out the elbow. Breathing, getting that stretch. Now clasp your hands behind your back like this, pulling them down, and begin to take your shoulder blades and squeeze them together and release them. So it's like a gentle squeeze and release as you bring the shoulder blades towards each other and away from each other. Noticing if you can make that even as you clasp the hands behind your back. Really sensing in, feeling the movement. Let's do 10 more. Now, with the hands continuing to be pressed behind your back like this, soften through the knees and just hinge yourself forward, raising those arms up. Getting those feet nice and straight and level. Raise those arms up. Knees here are soft. This is a nice little hinge. Noticing what you feel. Now straighten out the knees and reach up as high as you can. Taking a few breaths here. And then come on back up. Oof. All right, from here, let's do a tricep stretch. So you're going to grab onto the elbow. Hand is going to come straight to the shoulder blade and just lift up. So left hand here on the left shoulder blade, reaching up, making sure the elbow's not coming out, but is straight forward. You're holding behind it with the other hand. Taking a few breaths here. So some people say the triceps, like the stabilizer of the shoulder. Let's try the other side. So now the right hand is going to go right to the right shoulder blade, reaching up and hold. Noticing differences again, side to side. Breathing. Good. And then we're going to do what's called standing unilateral chest openers. So for this one, you're going to need a wall. So you're going to come to a wall, put your hand against that wall. Should be about the level of your shoulder. Feet are straight, and you're just going to move from the shoulder. So it's an out and an in. It's like a little rotation. Imagine that ball and socket joint as you rotate it out and back in. Hand remaining flat on the wall, provided that's possible for you. Let's do about 20 here. So the crease of the arm will look a little bit like it's moving out and then relaxing back. Trying not to elevate the shoulder too much. And then once you've done 20 and you've opened up through those chest muscles, you're going to go to the other side. Pressing out, noticing differences side to side. So this side feels a bit tighter for me. And you're going to go out and in, really pulling away from that hand. So getting that stretch. Some people will feel it's very difficult without even moving the arm. And if so, you can just kind of hold the hand there. And this is good right here, just that nice stretch. Otherwise, you're going for 20 here. And once you've done 20, look back down at your feet, straight and level. We're going to do one last overhead extension, pressing the hands down, palms towards the floor, lifting up. Head right in the middle, inhale. And exhale. One thing about this overhead extension is you want to make sure the ankle and the hip and the shoulder are in alignment. So if you're going into this and you do this, this is going to just compress your back. So being sure that you have that alignment. And that's the whole sequence. So kind of notice afterwards, what do you feel? Do you feel more balanced? Noticing how the wrist, how the elbow feels. Okay, and if you have any questions, you can reach me at alignedfit.com.